Hi, Gary Poosen here. I'm going to show you the most important thing for a lob. The single most important thing to actually enhance the quality of a lob. It just makes such a massive difference. And so many people don't understand. They just want to do so much work with their wrist, but they really need to do the work with their body early to be able to get in the best possible situation to be able to play this shot. The answer is simply to make sure that you take your lob on the rise. So when the ball is on the way up, so the ball hits the front wall, then it comes down to the floor, and then when it's on the way up. Now, it looks like this. So from here, the ball there, you can lift the ball up really simply if the ball is on the rise. Now, if the ball is actually coming down to the floor, you have to do a massive amount of wrist work, which becomes very inconsistent and very difficult. Now, the beauty of the actual hitting the ball on the rise is the fact that you can actually lock your forearm and lock your shoulder and actually lift your racket up. So as you hit from here, you can lift up through here with really strong muscles. So it's those strong muscles that will give you the repeatability and it'll give you the control. Now let's say you're in a situation where the ball has been put in this front corner and it's really quite an easy shot for you to play a drop. It's really quite an easy shot for you to drive. But what I'll tell you is that a lob will be just such an attacking shot because it actually makes your opponent uncomfortable. So when from here, if I lift up from a place where I could play any shot, if I lift up here and cut back to the tee, then it's really, really difficult for my opponent to retrieve a shot which is overhead and he's got to go very high. So it makes it really difficult for them. So the biggest answer I've got for you for any form of lob, any lob that you do, whether it's cross court or whether it's down the wall, is to simply just make sure as the ball comes, you lift it up on the rise. So if I show you a shot which hits the front wall, then bounces, comes off the rise and then heads down to the floor for the second bounce, and I'll show you just what I mean. So you see how it's just really difficult to get the height. What happens is you tend to get the position that you're hitting for because your body or your brain calculates just how high you can hit or where to hit the ball. So you'll get roughly near the side wall and everything as well because your brain is really quite clever to be able to do that. But what you miss is you miss on the height. So what will happen is the ball will go so much flatter. Now when a person is actually playing a lob or returning a lob, the difference between hitting here and hitting here is massive in their body structure. So your body structure through here is really difficult on anything which is around about above. If it gets your arm, if it takes people's arms past 90 degrees, that's where the difficult part is. So at 90 degrees, comfortable, past 90 degrees, uncomfortable. So if you can get people to actually stretch and reach high, you can actually take them off the ground. The other thing that they'll do is they'll actually go on their toes, which means it takes some time after being up there to come back down here to be able to return the ball. So it's really important that you understand the power of actually taking the ball on the rise and the ability to lift it up. So I'll show you once again, and I'll just emphasise the main parts, which is a strong forearm, a strong shoulder, and lifting up with your arm, trying to go for height rather than go for, let's say, a low flat one or anything that gets just even on the side wall. We want as high as we possibly can near the roof. So from here, there, up, and it will go up just beautifully. So that when it was a really high trajectory, the ball came down on my opponent, it would have been a fantastic lob.